My name is Effie, and you know what the E in Effie stands for? Evangelion, which is exactly why I'm qualified to tell you exactly what happens in this series without watching a single episode. Yeah, we're doing this again. Yeah, it sounds like a fucking dying cat. First, as always, I think it's important that I very briefly explain what I already know about Evangelion. Evangelion has Bible references. Evangelion has chairs. Evangelion has robots. Evangelion has characters named Asuka Gangly, Asuka, I didn't look up the character names before this. Rei, Shinji, Glasses Man,
Misato,
Ryoji, and Blonde Woman. Kaoru also exists. I think he's like an angel or something, which is apparently not a very good thing in this universe, but we'll get to it, and I know about, I know about a hospital. God. Now you might be thinking, Effie, that's a lot of knowledge. Even though I know all of those things, I still don't know what happens. But not to worry, I actually do know what happens. Do you think God stays in heaven because he fears what he created? I'm sure you all know that quote. It's from Spy Kids. And that very Spy Kids quote is an Evangelion reference. Because in Evangelion, God does not fear what he created. Instead, he hates it. I'm sure we know this by now, but humans are very imperfect creatures, and God knows all of this. So he wants to start over. And to do that, he sends a bunch of angels down to Earth who will kill any human they see on sight. Now, who in the world could a story like this be about? Maybe it's about a war general who commits the sin of pride. Maybe it's about a woman who commits the sin of gluttony with her alcohol addiction. No, it's about a high school boy. I'd like to introduce you all to Shinji Ikari. He's the protagonist. He's the perfect guy for a story like this. He's insecure, has no talent, and no bitches, which is very relatable. And you know what's even more relatable? Daddy issues. Meet Shinji's dad, Sunglasses Guy. Sunglasses Guy is actually the Prime Minister of Japan, and he likes to pose like this all the time. And he's not very happy about these angels that have invaded Earth, because they have already halved the human population in half. And along with it, his army has also been more than halved. And so Glasses Guy, he's like, man, I need some people to pilot my giant cool robots. Who in the world can do that? High school students. And that's when he remembers, oh my god, my son is in high school. So for the first time in years, he picks up his Nokia, he dials his son's number, and he's like, hey Shinji, wait, should I do my old man voice?
Hey Shinji, you like robots?
Now, this is a tough choice for Shinji, because, as I said earlier, he has daddy issues. So while he's very resentful of his father for the years that he spent ignoring him and his dead mom, his mom's dead, there's also that part of him that really wants his father's approval. Tried and true daddy issues. If that's relatable to you, you should subscribe. You see, his dad has been very distant his whole life, and his mom, well, she's very dead. 6 feet underground, baby. Of course, there's also another reason why he doesn't really like his father that much. You see, his father has been cheating on his mother with his secretary, the blonde lady. Yeah, those two, they're banging. Tried and true daddy issues. All of a sudden, an angel smashes through the windows of his school, and it starts eating people, but he runs away and decides to hide somewhere within the school. When all of a sudden, a giant robot appears. That robot belongs to Asuka. She beats the angel up, and then she grabs Shinji with her giant robot hand, and she takes him back to an underground base, and all of a sudden, he's just sat right in front of his dad, some lady, and 2 high school girls. This boy has not had a very good day. Alright, I gotta do the voice again.
I've got some people to introduce you to. This is Misato, your mentor, and here is Asuka Wangley and Rei. I expect you all to get along.
They're not gonna get along. And then the morning comes, and it's the time for their first lesson in piloting the Eva, because I know what that is. And so Misato has the honor of telling them exactly how it works for when they go onto the field. Should I, follow the script? I don't fucking wanna. This is boring. You hear the siren, and then you gotta go. Alright? You gotta go. And when you're done, you come straight back. And of course, Asuka hears this, and she's like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a shit. And, Rei's like, there's one key thing to remember, and it's the fact that if your Eva dies, you also die. This is a reference to Sword Art Online. No, wait, the other way around. Shinji is now in his very first official battle. But then, really underhanded of the angel to do this. But the thing about angels is that they can actually take on human forms. And so what does this angel do? It takes on the form of his dead mother. And Shinji knows that this is an angel, right? But he's looking at it and he's like, oh fuck, I can't do this. And Asuka's like, yes you can. He's like, no. And then Asuka does it and he's like, yo, why'd you do that? It was my mom. And she's like, are you fucking crazy? And then Rei chips in and she's like, Shinji very quickly realizes that this is not the job for him anymore and that he needs to find a way to get back to the surface. And then they get called into Glasses Guy's office and he's like, why do you suck? You had one job. I watched the footage. You didn't do it. Now, this is of course the worst nightmare for anyone with daddy issues because not only have you further given your father a reason to not speak to you, but you certainly don't have their approval now. Shinji lays in bed and he gets very existential because it's Evangelion. A few days pass by and then the siren goes off once again and he's absolutely petrified that it's going to go the same way it did last time. Shinji deserts. Yeah, Shinji's a deserter. Isn't that awesome? Shinji's, meanwhile, is at the beach and he's staring out into the ocean romantically. Now, what is little old Shinji thinking about? Well, let me tell you because I know exactly what he's thinking about. He's thinking about his normal life that he used to have before the angels appeared, before the Eva appeared, and before his father reappeared. His normal life, walking to school, attending classes, doing his homework. Well, I'd say hanging out with his friends, but I highly doubt he had any. And that's when Kaoru appears. He's like, yo man, what you up to? I'm actually part of your team. I'm a human. And Shinji's like, oh okay. And then Kaoru's like, I've got this. He's a manic pixie dream boy. And he goes, you don't have to do that, you know. I can see inside you. Wait, that sounds wrong. You don't have to hide from me, you know. So be honest. What's really bothering you? And so Shinji tells him, well, to be honest, I feel really lonely. You see, nobody there really understands or connects with Shinji, and he's been feeling that because he's 15 years old and goddamn are those hormones running rampant through his body. Just because the world is ending outside doesn't mean those hormones will stop working. And then Kaoru's like, oh, I see. Well, that was a nice conversation. I really hope we can be good friends. And then they go home. He gets back, and his dad is of course very, very angry, but he's like,
Oh, alright. Well, as long as you do well on your next mission, I won't fucking kill you.
And so now they're a team of 4 teenagers because teenagers are obviously the only group of people who could save the world, right? You know, there's so many adult characters here. Why aren't any of them on the field? I don't really get it. Now, I know what you're all thinking. I know exactly what you're thinking. And I know that Evangelion isn't really a rom-com, but Shinji now has 3 bachelors, okay? And we gotta pick one. So who is Shinji gonna make out with? Well, let's think. I have an idea. Okay, I've got a great idea. So here we enact the slice of life arc of Evangelion. Now I know those words probably don't go together, but they actually do. The best girl war will officially begin. Who will you pick as your best girl? Now this slice of life arc is crazy. It is full of booby grabs. It is full of falling on top of Shinji, comedically and conveniently. Because that's what Slice of Life 1990s is all about, baby. If I'm not seeing her toes, why am I watching the show? This all ends in an argument between Asuka and Rei. Asuka starts arguing with Rei. She's mad because she wants Shinji to be in her corner. I don't fucking know why. And Rei responds with, at the very same time as the 2 girls are fighting over him, Shinji is bathing at night with Kaoru. Eventually, they decide to let Asuka win, because I feel like she would win. I swear to God, if the twist of the show is that Asuka is Shinji's mom, I don't think I can make these videos anymore. The end of Evangelion begins, and then all of a sudden, Rei just fucking dies. And they're like, whoa! Asuka's really mad, and she fights, and then also almost dies. They're in the hospital. We're not gonna talk about what happens in the hospital. And so now they're down to 2. Kaoru's like, Hey man, I think we need to take a break for a while. I know humanity's like kind of rapidly about to go extinct, but we should go on vacation as bros. And Shinji's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And so they decide to go on a little beach vacation together. Meanwhile, Sunglasses Man is stressed out of his fucking mind. So he makes Misato pilot the Eva. All of a sudden, Shinji gets a notification on his fucking Nokia. It's a voicemail from his dad telling him,
You dumb bitch! Humanity is almost extinct! Come back!
and then Shinji gets a reality check. Oh my god, he thinks. Humanity's almost wiped out. What have I been doing all this time? He tries to leave, but Kaoru stops him. Shinji asks why. Why are you stopping me? And why don't you care that humanity is dying? It's almost like, you're... Kaoru says, say it. Say what I am. You're... an angel. This is the ultimate betrayal. Shinji's one and only friend has been lying to him all along about who he really is. And in Kaoru's eyes, you can see, for a split second, the regret that he feels. And then they go home. They go back and they decide that they need to do the final battle against the angels. The final war. It's Kaoru versus Shinji. Sunglasses Man has also decided to take up piloting the Eva, and so is Misato. When all of a sudden, Kaoru stops. Kaoru then finally says how he truly feels. And this is gonna be great. Just wait. You know, Shinji, ever since I met you, I thought that humans were stupid fools. But then I met you. Wait, I got that out of order. Before I met you, I thought humans were stupid fools. But then I met you, and I thought that humans were stupid fools. But as we hung out together, I realized that maybe our mission is like kind of crazy, and that we should stop killing humans. But of course, God isn't gonna stop. So he's like, you wish to save these humans despite their foolishness? And Kaoru says no. But I want to save this one. I see. Then I will give you a choice. You can either finish the job, or you can trade your life for these humans. And Kaoru's like, I'm going to restart the universe. Shinji wakes up. This world is just like the old one that he once knew. It's untouched by angels. There's no rebel, there's no decay. There is no Eva. No one knows what he just saw. No one except for him. This is the life that Shinji wanted to go back to all along. And yet, it feels empty. His one and only friend is no longer with him. What's truly ironic in Kaoru's sacrifice is that, in saving Shinji, he has left him more isolated and lonely than he ever was when the angels were there. And that's Evangelion. I just impress myself sometimes. If you like this video, let me know what series you'd like me to explain next in the comments, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye!